Does beef build muscle better than soy-based alternatives like the Impossible Burger? A new study puts them head-to-head. A randomized control trial showed that eating 4 ounces of beef stimulated muscle protein synthesis, which we believe is essential for muscle growth, by 20% above baseline. In contrast, 4 ounces of the Impossible Burger barely moved the needle. But when the portion was doubled to 8 ounces, the Impossible Burger matched beef's anabolic effect. Here's the catch. Achieving the same muscle building benefit with the Impossible Burger required 60% more calories than beef. 462 versus 279. Beef's edge, more essential amino acids, higher leucine content, and faster absorption. All crucial for muscle? Impossible? Not quite. But beef gets you there with less effort and fewer bites.
No. I have a couple of questions for you. Why are you specifically highlighting studies about muscle protein synthesis when we have studies measuring muscle growth directly in humans? We don't have just 1, 2, but 3 studies directly measuring muscle growth. In these 3 studies, the researchers measured the calorie and the protein intake, the training program, and various other factors. Another advantage of these studies is the duration, in which they lasted for a few months. I'm not exactly sure why you are never highlighting or even speaking of these 3 studies. Why is that? Furthermore, the study you shared is interesting, to say the least. Clinicaltrials.gov is a registry in which the researchers are required to publicly declare their study design, alongside the objectives and outcomes, before even starting the study. This process is designed to reduce the bias. Let's go read what the authors stated that their primary outcome was in this specific study. The postprandial, so after eating, change in net protein balance, i.e. protein synthesis minus protein breakdown, relative to baseline in each group will be the primary outcome. Responses of the rates of protein synthesis and breakdowns will be the secondary outcome. Additionally, secondary endpoints will be muscle protein synthesis, plasma essential amino acids, etc., etc. Muscle protein synthesis was not even the primary outcome in this study. So why did she not highlight or even speak about the net protein balance? The answer is simple, because in the 240 grams of plant-based meat alternative or 8 Oz plant-based meat alternative, the net protein balance was significantly greater. It is true that compared to 120 grams of beef and 120 grams of the plant-based meat alternative, beef had greater muscle protein synthesis. But the muscle protein synthesis doesn't even seem to be a great indicator for muscle growth. The researchers probably felt the need to find something that was statistically significant, even though muscle protein synthesis is not as reliable as their primary outcome. This is probably the main motivation that has led them to run a post-hoc analysis to highlight the differences. This kind of approach can raise some concern in research transparency and bias, as the focus was shifted to a secondary outcome to ensure some statistical significant findings. I'm not sure if the funding had anything to do with the behavior of the researchers, but it doesn't change the fact that this study is probably not the best study to bring up when we are comparing plant proteins versus animal-based proteins. I do hope that we will get a response to all the concerns and questions that I've raised with this video.